children, how are you? I hope you all are doing well. So children, sometimes when we are walking, okay, we try to, when we look behind, we see something dark that is following us. What is it? That's the shadow, and that's your own shadow. And sometimes you'll observe that it's long, sometimes it's short. Isn't it funny? So now we are going to talk about light and shadow in this chapter. And we're going to find out how this shadow is formed, okay, with the help of light. Okay. So, can you see anything in a dark room? No. We need light to see the things around us. So, what is light? Light is a form of energy. Without light, we will not be able to see at all. Okay? We will just be touching things to find out what it is. But we will not be able to see them unless there is little light at least. Okay? So, it is a form of energy. Sun is the main source of light on the earth. The lamp, torch, bulb, candle, etc. they give us light. The light giving objects are called luminous objects, and the objects that do not give us light are called non-luminous objects. So, children, in this chapter, we will learn about the light as a form of energy. We will differentiate between transparent, opaque and translucent objects. We will understand that light travels in straight line, and we will appreciate the phenomenon of eclipse. So, children, as I said, in a dark room you cannot see anything and you need some light. Okay? So, we know that outside the house we are able to see during the daytime because of the light coming from the sun, okay, during the daytime. But when we are inside the house and we want to see something and it is really dark, what do? We light a bulb, okay, or light a candle or a torch. We use a torch or a lamp, isn't it? So, now these objects that give us light, what are they called? They are called the luminous objects. And the objects that do not give us light, they are called what? They are called the non-luminous objects. Okay? Now, the sun, the star and the firefly or the jugnus, okay, they are natural luminous bodies. Okay? These are the natural bodies. A glowing electric lamp, a burning candle are man-made luminous objects. Okay? Moon does not have its own light. Okay? It gets light from the sun, it gets light from the stars and the planets. Okay? So, a substance which allows light to pass through is called a transparent substance. So, if something is transparent, light can easily pass through it. For example, a glass, okay, water, air, cellophane paper, okay, cellophane paper you must have seen. A substance which allows only a part of light to pass through it is known as a translucent substance. Okay? Only a part of it goes. So, it's something like a blur object. For example, ground glass or a wax paper or a frosted glass. So, it is, you can see light, but it is a blurred light. Okay? A substance which does not allow light to pass through is called an opaque substance. Okay? So, any substance which does not allow any light to pass through it is known as the opaque substance. For example, wood, okay, cardboard, stone, these are all opaque substances. So, we all know that transparent substance means the substance through which the light passes through. Okay? You can see it clearly. Then translucent is where it is a partial, okay, or a blur image is what you get. And opaque is where the light is not allowed to pass at all, okay, through these objects. Now, you need to do this activity, okay, in order to understand this. You have to take 3 glasses, fill A glass with water, B with milk and C glass with tea. Look through lighted torch through the glasses, okay. So, when you look through glass A, torch light can be seen clearly. So, glass, okay, and water as both are transparent. So, when we fill water in it, we can see through it. Okay. So that's our observation. When you put the torch light on that, you can see that it is transparent. Glass B, you can see a faint light, okay, because milk is translucent. And glass C, okay, torch light cannot be seen through the glass of tea because tea is opaque, okay, it will not let the light pass through it. Okay, now the second experiment that we are going to look at, or the activity we are going to look at, is to find out that light travels in straight line. So what for that you have to do is, you have to take 3 equal cardboards, okay, equal size cardboards, and make a small hole through the center of each. Okay. Place the cardboards with modeling clay in such a way that their holes are in a straight line. So you have to first take 3 equal size cardboards, okay, and then in the center of the cardboard you have to make holes, okay, a hole, one hole, okay, and then place the cardboard in such a way with modeling clay. So you join the cardboard in such a way with the modeling clay that in such a way that their holes are in a straight line. So you join them with that, okay, but all the 3 holes should be in the straight line, okay. Now place a burning candle at one side of the table in front of the hole. The flame will be seen from the other end through the hole. So if you keep the burning candle on the other side, okay, and peep through the hole, you will be able to see the burning flame. Now move the middle cardboard slightly so that the holes are not in a straight line. The candle flame is not seen on the other end. It means that the light travels in a straight line. So now when you move the middle cardboard, you will see that the holes are not in the straight line, okay, and the burning flame or the candle flame is not to be seen. It means that the light travels in a straight line, okay. Now how is shadow formed? What happens when light falls on an opaque object? When the light cannot pass through an opaque object, a shadow is formed behind the object, okay. So we cannot see shadows in the dark. The shadow is always black. It changes its length and direction during the day because of the position of the sun, okay, which changes during the day. So when you are standing, suppose you are standing in the morning, okay, in the morning you will see that your shadow is, morning and evening your shadow is the longest, okay, when you are an opaque object, okay. The sun's light is not able to pass through you, and that is the reason why your shadow falls behind you, okay. So this is the natural phenomenon. Now there is a time during the day when your shadow is like the shortest, okay, that's because of the movement of the sun, okay. Now so you have to do this activity, okay, you have to show various shadows of the hand. In a dark room, you light a torch and allow the light to fall on the wall. Create various hand positions and observe on the screen. You will find the shadows formed. Shadows made by hands resemble birds. So try doing this activity based on the pictures here, alright. Now children, you must have heard about eclipses, okay. Mother must have said that, oh, today is the eclipse, okay. Now what is this eclipse, okay. Eclipses happen when because the earth revolves around the sun, okay. Now the sun's light, it falls on the earth and the moon. The moon also revolves around the earth. So earth revolves around the sun, moon revolves around the earth, okay, and the sun's light, it falls on what? It falls on the moon as well as on the earth, okay. Now during the revolution, okay, we are talking about revolution, okay, the moon, the sun and the earth, they all come in the straight line, okay. When the moon blocks the light of the sun, okay, the shadow of the moon falls on the earth. The solar eclipse happens. So when does the solar eclipse happen? When the moon blocks the sun, okay, when it blocks the light of the sun, okay, the shadow of the moon falls on the earth. So, when the moon comes in between the sun and the earth, okay, and it blocks the light of the sun, the shadow of the moon falls behind on the earth, okay, and it is known as the solar eclipse, okay, and it can be partial or it can be a complete one. Now, when does a lunar eclipse happen? It occurs when the earth, now when the earth comes in between the light of the sun, okay, the shadow of the earth falls on the moon, and then the moon is not visible. Okay, clear? Now, let's revise this entire chapter. We can see the things with the help of light. What helps us to see things? The light. Okay, the objects which give light are called luminous objects, example bulb, candle, etc. And the objects which do not give light are called non-luminous objects, example cup, chair, etc. Luminous bodies, they can be both. They can be natural as well as man-made. There are three types of materials, okay, transparent, translucent and opaque. A shadow is formed when the light falls on an opaque object. Okay. Now, a solar eclipse occurs when the moon comes in between the sun and the earth, and lunar eclipse happens when the moon cannot be seen because of the earth's shadow. So, in other words, lunar eclipse means when the earth comes in between the moon and the sun. Okay, all this happens because of the during the process of revolution. Okay, one revolution means a year. Okay, now let's test your knowledge through the exercises. Multiple choice questions. Take the correct option. This is the main source of light on earth. Firefly, sun, star or moon? It is the sun. The object which does not allow light to pass through is called does not allow the light to pass through. Okay. Transparent, translucent, opaque or sun? It is opaque object. Which of the following is a luminous object? The earth, the moon, the stars, the chair, luminous object. Okay. So, here the luminous object is the stars. Okay. Fill in the blanks. Light glowing objects are called luminous objects. Light travels in a straight line. Okay. Dash is a natural luminous object. It is firefly or jugnu. A dash is formed when light falls on an opaque object. What is formed? A shadow. The dash revolves around the sun and the dash revolves around the earth. Okay. The earth revolves around the sun and the moon revolves around the earth. Alright. Now, write T for true and F for false statements. A star is a source of light? Yes. Okay. It gives us light during the night. All the objects around us are luminous objects? False. Okay. There are objects that are it's not about luminous objects or non-luminous objects, it is about the light that falls. Okay. So, this is false, not all objects are luminous objects. Okay. A shadow is formed when light travels in a straight line? No, it is false. Okay. All the luminous objects are natural luminous objects? No. Okay. They are, we use torch, we use bulb, okay, which are not natural, they are man-made. Tissue paper is a translucent object? Yes. If it is a thin one, you can see through it. Okay. Give one example of each. A natural luminous object, sun. Transparent object, you can say a glass. Okay. Translucent object, you can see a glass which is of a translucent material, okay, or waxy material. Now, take the odd one out. Sun, stars, earth, jugnu. Okay. So, which is the odd one here? Earth. Okay. The rest of them give us light. Stone, air, water, glass. Okay. So, what is the odd one here? It is the air, which is odd because we cannot see air. Okay. Butter paper, smoked glass, book, tissue paper. Okay. So, what is the odd one here? Book. Book is opaque. Give one word for each. A substance that allows light to pass through it is a transparent substance. It travels in a straight line, light. It is formed when path of light is obstructed, shadow. It is an object that has its own light, sun. Okay. Now, what is light? Now, let's move on to the short answer questions. What is light? Light is a natural phenomenon through which we can see other objects. Okay. So, that is light. It is a form of energy. Okay. Now, the next one. What are luminous objects? Objects that give us light are called luminous objects. And how is transparent substance different from translucent objects? Okay, transparent substance are the substances through which we can see through. Okay, and translucent is where we can partially see through it. Okay, name some natural and man-made luminous objects. Natural, you can say, is firefly, star, sun, and man-made are torch, bulb. Okay. If you see the faint glow of a lighted torch through object, but not torch itself, it is the substance opaque, translucent or transparent? It is translucent, okay, because you are able to see faint light. Now, long answer questions. Why length of your shadow varies during the day? As I have already told you, the shadow depends on the movement of the sun. Okay, so elaborate this one. All right. Now, write an activity to show the formation of shadow. So, you have to write an activity which shows the formation of shadow when you come in between the light and the when the opaque object comes in front of the light. How does lunar eclipse happen? Okay, when the earth comes in between the sun and the moon. Okay, what do you understand by complete and partial solar eclipse? So, we already know that when the moon comes in between the sun and the earth, solar eclipse happens. So, but it can be partial and it can be full. So, elaborate on this one also. Okay. Now, critical thinking skills. Though moon does not have its own light, how does moon shine? Okay. Moon shines because it reflects the light of the sun falling on it. Okay. So, as we all know, the moon also revolves around the sun. Okay, and then it reflects the light that it gets from the sun. Why don't we get shadow when light falls on a transparent object? Okay, because the object does not allow the light to pass through it. Okay, and that's why we don't get a shadow. Now, case-based study. Light is a form of energy. The sun is the source of light during the day. It is a natural source of light. We also get light from candles, torches, bulbs and lamps. These objects are called luminous objects as they emit their own light. Some of these objects like the sun, stars, etc., they are natural, while others like lamps, candles and torches, they are man-made sources of light. Most objects that do not give us light like tree, chair, table and books, they are called non-luminous objects. We can see non-luminous objects only when the light falls on them. Okay. So, what is light? Light is a form of energy. And what are luminous objects? Luminous objects are the objects that emit their own light. Okay, that they can emit their own light. Now, what are non-luminous objects? Non-luminous objects are the objects that do not give us light or they block the light. Okay. Now, all right, now give two natural luminous objects. Okay, the sun, stars, they are all natural. All right, now let's move on to this life skills. You have to take a candle and light. Okay, place it in the center and keep four things surrounding it in different directions. What happens when the light of the candle flickers? Does the shadow of all the four objects flicker? Do the light falling on all the object is the same? Is it the same? So, try doing this experiment and see what happens when you place a candle in the center, okay, and light it up, and how does the light fall on the other objects and how does the shadow fall on the other objects. All right. Now, let's do something new. You have to perform the following experiment in a dark room. Okay. This will show us that light travels in straight line. Okay. Then we have to make animal shadows. Okay, you can look at this picture and look at the way the fingers are held so that you can make the shadows. Okay, you have to make your own sundial. Sundial, what is a sundial? It is an instrument which is used to measure time by observing the shadow of the sun. For that you require cardboard, wooden stick around 15 to 20, okay, 15 to 20 centimeter long, okay, then glue and decorative material. You need to cut a piece of cardboard in a shape of your choice, then glue the wooden stick to the center of the cardboard so that it stands upright. Decorate your sundial leaving the edge clearly. Okay. The wooden stick will cast a shadow across the board. Mark the point on the board where the tip of the shadow is located. Note the time of the day alongside the mark. Repeat step 5 at various times of a day. Note the changes in the size of the shadow at what time are the shadow longest and shortest. So, children, in earlier days, okay, when the clocks were not made, people used to understand the time based on the movement of the sun. Okay. So, like when the sun used to rise, they knew it was daytime. So, now they used to come, now when it was a daytime, okay, they used to see that the shadows are the longest. So, how did they find out that it is noon time? At noon, when the sunlight used to follow on the person, the shadows became short. So, that is when they understood that it is the afternoon time or the noon time, and slowly and gradually again the shadows started getting longer till the sunset. So, that is when they found out that it is post afternoon and it is the evening time and the sun is going to set. So, this is how men or human beings at that time figured out what is the time of the day, okay, using a sundial. Okay. Now, you have read about solar eclipse in the chapter. Is it safe to see solar eclipse by naked eye? What are the harmful effects of watching directly at solar eclipse? What things can be used to see solar eclipse and list them? So, because of the rays of the sun which are really very strong, okay, we cannot look at it through naked eyes during the solar eclipse. Now, find out more information about this and prepare a project on it and discuss it with your teachers and your family and classmates also. Alright children, but before you do that, quickly reread this chapter, complete all the exercises, okay, and then get on to this exploration work. Alright children, get going.